Boom! All right, guys, we're getting close to the end of 2019. So what we wanted to do today, me and my good friend Chad Arms, if you're familiar with my channel at all, I know you know this guy. We did a mukbang together. We do vlogs together. Really, he's the one that got me into YouTube in the first place. Chatty Bobby 1130. He's a member of the Triple Flicks Mafia YouTube channel. He's probably, out of the three guys that formed that channel, he's probably my least favorite, but that's neither here nor there.
It's top three. I'm in the top three.
So we're getting close to the end of 2019. So we thought we would do a ranking video of all the horror-ish type movies that we've watched in 2019, and just kind of rank them. I happen to watch 33 horror-ish type movies in 2019, and he just happened to watch 33 also. Yep. You're gonna say that sounds odd. What's the chances? But it's fact.
It is fact, actually. I've seen 51 total from this year, but 33 of those 51 are horror-ish. So let's get it, man. We're gonna have different opinions.
We're going to have different opinions.
Spoiler alert.
We used to agree quite a lot on movies when we first became friends, but as our friendship grew, his taste in horror declined. And so now we don't always have the same opinions on horror movies. But we're going to do, these aren't all necessarily horror movies, just a horror type theme to each of them, though, is what we're doing. So we're going to get this party started. We're not going to say a whole lot about each movie, otherwise this would turn into the Pearl Harbor movie. And I'm a Ben Affleck fan, but we don't need 3 hours of this, right? So number 33 from me. Shall I let you get the party started since you're a guest?
That's up to you, bud.
Yeah, you start this party off, Chad.
Okay. Before I start my list, there is one movie that me and him both did not get to see that I really wanted to see before this, and that is Dr. Sleep. Me and him both were trying to see it, and I didn't get a chance to see it.
Spoiler alert, I watched it last night.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't get to see it.
But that does bring up a good point. Just because a movie you may like isn't on my list, I haven't got to watch all the movies. I haven't got to see It Chapter 2 this year.
Yeah.
That came out at a time I was getting ready for a fight show and things, and I just didn't get the time, and it hasn't hit 4K yet. So, but yeah, I have not watched every horror-ish type movie in 2019. So let's go ahead and go, Chad.
Cool. So my least favorite movie from this year, horror-ish wise, I don't think he's seen it, but me, Tony, Jordan, and Paul watched it, and it was complete dog poop, and that is Candy Corn. This is a Halloween-themed horror movie that came out. It was like an independent company. I want to say it's the same company that put out Terrifier, actually.
Oh.
Epic Pictures. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And we watched it, and there was nothing about it that was redeeming at all. It got sold the next day. That's my least favorite horror-ish movie of this year. Big letdown.
I have not got to see Candy Corn, but if it's from the same company as Terrifier, I would want to see it. But
that's what we thought. I don't. You may like it, but we didn't care for it though.
My number 33 of 2019, guys, is Captive State. It's the only movie all year that I refuse to finish. Right? I watched it I was at a friend's house and we rented it on video on demand or something, and I got about halfway through it and I refused to watch it. I walked out of the room and said, I refuse to finish this movie. And that was the only movie of 2019 that I wouldn't finish. So Captive State gets last place, number 33.
Okay, so my number 32 is a movie I had to rent on YouTube just to say that I saw it. It is a movie starring John Travolta, directed and written by Fred Durst, called Fanatic. This movie is insane and not good insane, like hilarious. Did you see it?
No.
It is hilarious, bro. Like, quick little thing about it. John Travolta plays this like autistic guy that's obsessed with Devon Sawa's character, who is a horror movie actor. And it's just so bad, dude. Fred Durst even like shouts out his own band in the movie. It's really bad, bro. But it's one you have to see. It's so bad. But that's my second to least favorite.
I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I did hear John Travolta dresses up as Jason Voorhees in it.
He does. Well, he does.
Yeah. I mean, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, my number 32, Clown Motel. Guys, I was walking through Walmart minding my own business, and I seen a DVD.
That's your first
of Clown Motel. And if I subject these retinas to a DVD in this time and age. It works.
Is
that the same though? Time and age. Anyway, I don't watch DVDs anymore. I don't watch VHS. I'm just my retina. I'm so sophisticated in my viewing habits. Right, it's 4K or nothing for Ivy, but that was half a joke and half not a joke. I really don't. But anyway, so I seen this slip cover of Clown Motel.
DVD slip cover.
DVD slip cover of Clown Motel, and it had the first Jason from part 1, mommy. He was in it.
I didn't know that's who that was.
He was in it. Tony Moran was in it. They didn't save this thing.
It's real bad, obviously.
And I realized they had no budget for Clown Motel, but still, this is it was hard to watch. I finished it, but it was very hard. All right.
Yeah. So number 31 is a movie that I saw, and I rented it early on in the year. I don't know if y'all have ever seen a movie called The Car from the late 70s. I don't know if you ever seen it. It's a pretty cool like horror movie, but it's about a car that goes crazy. This one is a sequel to that called The Car Road to Revenge. This movie is horrible. It was another one when I was in that mode. As soon as the year started, I was renting all these like really bad horror movies on YouTube Premium for like $2 or $3 a piece, just to kind of get my movies up for the year, off to a good start. And this movie there's nothing good about this movie. The only reason it's not the worst is because the other two were worse than that, obviously. But this was not a good movie at all. I don't recommend it. The Car Road to Revenge.
The Car, is it similar to Christine or Duel?
Yeah, but not near as good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've never even heard of it.
Well,
Number 31 for me, Midsommar. Me and a group of friends went to the movie theater to watch Midsommar because I seen the trailer and I was hyped. I was looking forward to it. Even though I don't like The Witch and I don't like Hereditary, something said Midsommar is going to be different. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was, I remember I was sitting in there. There's probably maybe 8 of us watching this together. And I remember thinking, I'm going to walk out of this, but I can't because I got my buddies here and I think we're going to eat lunch. So I had to sit and subject myself to, I don't know. It was like a mini series. It was so long. But it was not entertaining. That ain't my style of horror. If you like Midsommar, I would venture to say you'd call the police if something bad happened. You're the type that's going to call the law. So I don't have nothing to do with those type people, and I don't have nothing to do with Midsommar. All right, next.
My number 30 movie, I don't know if do you have Hulu?
Absolutely.
Okay. There's a series of Hulu originals that's horror themed that they put out every month called Into the Dark, right? I watched a few of these for this list, and this to me was the worst one that I watched. It's called Pilgrim, and the plot of it was pretty cool. This rich family, gets these actors to come in to reenact like the Plymouth Rock, like all that stuff, and then they go crazy. It was a cool idea, but it just fell completely flat for me. The movie just was dragging on. It wasn't really anything that good about it. These are really hit and miss, and this was a big miss for me. That's Pilgrim number 30.
I remember seeing that on there, and I wanted to click on it like maybe a week ago.
Yeah.
And you don't recommend it?
It's Hulu, so it's only like an hour and 20 minutes, so it's not too long, but yeah.
I'll check it out maybe.
Yeah.
My number 30, The Dead Don't Die. We went to the theater, I think. Yeah, it was you and Savannah went.
Yep.
We went to the theater and watched The Dead Don't Die. Now look, I wasn't going in expecting just a terrifying horror movie. It had Bill Murray in it. I'm a Bill Murray guy. I like his mannerisms. I like the way he, I like Bill Murray. He couldn't save this thing. I did not enjoy it. I was hoping, at the best, I was hoping for Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and it wasn't. No. It wasn't Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and I didn't enjoy it. So, 29?
All right. It's going to get good. My number 29, 3 from Hell. Look here. Devil's Reject is my favorite horror sequel of all time. I went into this movie knowing it wasn't going to live up to Devil's Rejects. But I was still hype about it. But I had my reservations because of the way Devil's Rejects ended. I was like, how are they going to play this off? And this movie, man, I didn't like it, bro. It made me so mad because he left out a bunch of really important stuff he should have talked about. The whole second half of the movie, they're in Mexico. It fell flat for me, man. And I wanted to really like it. I love you, Ivy. 29, 3 from Hell.
Remember at the beginning of the video when I said his opinion in horror movies has declined? this is when it starts to take shape, guys. This is when it takes hold. But I'm going to talk about that movie a little bit later.
I'm sure you will. It's going to be way high
in the list. Number 29 for me, So to Keep. So to Keep was a Netflix original movie, I believe. But I know I watched it. Yeah, I know. I watched it on Netflix, though. I had a misprint there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was 20. There's another movie called Soul to Keep that's an older one, right? This is the new one?
Well, this was like they inherit a house and they go there with some friends and they resurrect a demon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that
yeah.
thing on Netflix. Okay.
It wasn't absolutely god awful, but it wasn't. I wouldn't recommend it.
Right.
It was good for what it was. Yeah. 28 for you.
Yeah, 28 for me is Dead Don't Die. I felt the same way. Everything Ivy said about Dead Don't Die, I felt the same way. I just felt like this movie, nobody tried. I felt like the director didn't try, Bill Murray didn't try, Adam Driver didn't try, and I know that's how they wrote the movie, but it was just blah, bro. Like there wasn't. It just felt. There was so much of the movie where I was just like, man, try harder than you're. You know what I mean? It just felt lazy to me, and I know it was the director playing it off like that, but I was really disappointed in it, man. That's my number 28.
We agreed on that one completely.
Yeah.
All right, 28, Wrinkles the Clown. I rented this on Vudu, and the poster for it looked good. I mean, it intrigued me, and I wanted to watch it. I was hoping for like some horror vibes in it. It wasn't. It turned out to be just a documentary about a gentleman in Florida that I can't believe hasn't been shot yet, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is another one that, it just had some horror themes to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't belong on this list at all. 27 for you?
So it wasn't scary or anything?
Not scary, just a documentary and not a good one.
All right. 27 for me is another one of those Netflix movies. Some of these are so just disposable, like they're not doing it, they're not costing you nothing because you're paying for the subscription every month. It's just an hour and a half that you just kind of throw away basically when you watch it. Mercy Black, excuse me. Mercy Black, number 27. Just another one of those, I think it was Blumhouse that did it. It was very forgettable. No, it wasn't scary, just really run-of-the-mill and disposable. It wasn't terrible, but it was just nothing special about it. So 27 would be Mercy Black for me.
They put that in my recommended videos when I go through it, and I've just never clicked on it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not missing nothing.
Now I'm glad I didn't. Yeah. 27 for me, Zombieland Double Tap. We went to the movie theater to watch that. Chad was with me, Savannah was with me. Okay. Stop. There you go. I fell asleep. Usually it's Chad falling asleep when we go to the movies together, but it was me. I was falling asleep on this one. So I didn't get a chance to watch big parts of it, but the parts I did watch, I remember thinking, I don't like it as much as the original. I just didn't have as much fun with it. Number 27.
You slept
well, I mean, I watched the parts I did watch, not a fan.
I got you. Yeah. 27.
26.
So my 26 will be a movie that came out at the beginning of the year. I rented on YouTube. It's called Rust Creek. It's horror themed, but it's really not. It's horror-ish, I guess. It's basically about this girl that like her vehicle messes up out in the middle of BFE, and she basically gets kidnapped. And there's a whole meth lab situation going on where she was kidnapped. It had some some cool parts to it, but it really started to drag. It had a good start to it though. It's just down on my list because it's just kind of blah like the second act and third act, but it wasn't terrible. But Rust Creek 26.
Never got to watch it. Have never even heard of it.
Yeah.
I've been kind of busy this year, evidently. All right, 26 for me. Happy Death Day to You. Watched it on Blu-ray. Again, subjected my eyes and retinas to that kind of stuff. But I remember the first one. I'm a big fan of the first one. The first one I would say was 60% horror, 40% comedy. This one, 95% comedy, 5% horror.
Yeah,
I mean, they totally abandoned the horror type feel for it and just went straight comedy almost. So it's lower on the list. But 26, Happy Death Day to You.
Yeah, I mean, the first one I thought the idea of it was cool. I didn't care for it a whole lot. I never even wanted to see the second one because that's what I thought in the trailer. I was like, man, it looks like they're just trying to be a comedy the whole time. But number 25 for me is another one of those Hulu original Into the Dark movies. It's called Treehouse. Again, nothing outstanding, nothing super terrible. It was just very. It was just middle. It was just blah. I mean, I didn't take away anything from it. I would never want to go back and revisit it, but I did want to check it out because I'm trying to watch a lot of those Into the Dark movies. But it was just all right. 25 Treehouse.
Hearing your list, I'm realizing how many movies I didn't see. I didn't get to watch it.
Same here.
25 for me, guys. Pure. It was another Hulu original movie. It had a big Midsommar type theme to it. I mean, it was like a smaller budgeted Midsommar. But
that's in the Dark too. Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't as long and it wasn't as drawn out as Midsommar. So it's a little bit. I was able to actually finish it and want to finish it. But at number 25, Pure.
I saw that one too. I didn't check that one out though. Number 24 for me is another Hulu original, Into the Dark. Like I said, they were putting them out once a month. This one is called Down. It took place in an elevator. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did see it.
Yeah. It wasn't terrible, but the first half of it I really dug, and then it started just to kind of get kind of ridiculous. But I still like, there was parts of it that I still thought was cool. It was obviously better than the other Hulu originals that I've already talked about. So, number 24, Down.
I did get to see Down, and I'll talk about it a little bit later.
Yep.
24, They Come Knocking, a Hulu original. I like the first half a lot more than I like the second half, but that's going to be the kind of a running theme here coming up. Really enjoyed the first half, and it was kind of an isolation movie with a man and his daughters, and I liked it a lot at the beginning, and then it started to go a direction that I really wasn't as high on towards the end. But They Come Knocking, number 24.
Is that the one where the picture is like them on top of a Winnebago or something?
Yep.
It's cool that me and him like pretty much covered all the ones I didn't see, you saw, and vice versa. So that's cool. I didn't get a chance to see that one. Next up for me, 23, The Curse of La Llorona. I got this for cheap when it went on sale at Best Buy a couple weeks ago. It's one of those Conjuring universe movies. It's just the same old bag. It's like Nun, and it's like, it's nothing. It's just jump scare. I liked it better than I liked The Nun, but I didn't like The Nun much at all last year. So that's all we'll say about that one. 23, Curse of La Llorona.
I seen the trailer for that, was not interested from the jump. I've had multiple times to watch it since then. Didn't choose any of them to watch it. Yeah. I just try to avoid it. I've stayed away from that one. All right, my number 23 movie is Body at Brighton Rock. Watched it on Hulu. This movie had a lot of potential. I was expecting a lot out of it, but it didn't live up to the potential for me. It kind of, not a whole lot happened in this movie. It was just kind of nothing happened, and then some more nothing happening, and then it finished up strong with nothing happening. So it was, a lot of nothing happening on Body at Brighton Rock. All right, what's your 22, Chad?
I was like hanging on your last word, like, oh, it's going to end well. I know.
No.
Okay, so I didn't get to see that one, but I've heard pretty much the same thing he said about it. Next up, my number 22 is a movie called the Banana Splits movie. This movie was crazy. It's basically about a group. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Chuck E. Cheese, wherever you're watching this, if there's one near you. It's basically these animatronic characters that have a television show for kids, and they're getting, the network's cutting their funding. So it's about this kid and his family, and the kid's like the biggest fan of these Banana Split characters, and they basically go crazy. The gore and guts are out of this. I mean, they're like Terrifier level as far as like the over-the-top gore, but the movie's terrible. Only reason it's higher up is because it was entertaining enough with the gore and the kills, but the acting's terrible in it. It's not really good. When the only, like I said, it's higher up just because of the kills. But that made it entertaining, but not a good movie.
My number 22, Rattlesnake, is a Netflix original. I first heard about this movie. Chad texted me one day just out of the blue randomly and said, you got to watch Rattlesnake. So eventually I got a chance where I was able to watch it and watched it. And I was digging the first half. And then it kind of, it wasn't a terrible movie. It wasn't a beautiful, not beautiful, beautiful is not the word. Outstanding movie either.
Well, it was 22 is not a bad spot for it.
Just kind of middle of the road type movie. Rattlesnake on Netflix.
My number 21 is a movie that we saw the preview for at least 10 times because we were going to those movies every week. The Prodigy, about the kid. Mm-hmm. we finally watched this. Me, Jordan, Tony, I think watched this one night on Hangouts a few months back. Great idea for the movie. It's not like it's never been done before. It started off really creepy, then it kind of just, I'm going to use this word, meandered. We're going to use meander today. It meandered, and it was just kind of whatever. And so it's not terrible, but again, this is in that middle of the road portion. Prodigy 21.
My number 21 movie, Friday the 13th Vengeance 2.0 on YouTube. Those of you that, if you watch it for free on YouTube, just they came out with Friday the 13th Vengeance, and then they kind of had to rush it, and now they came out with 2.0, which is the same film, but now it's got a better sound to it, and I think they did a little bit also with the visuals, but I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and it had no budget, no budget and volunteer actors, but I still enjoyed it more than some of these studio made movies that are lower on the list. So Friday the 13th Vengeance 2.0 on YouTube.
So I watched a Friday the 13th fan movie that came out this year, and I forgot to list it. I'm guessing that's the one that I watched.
Well, there's been a couple that came out this year,
okay,
but this is a really good one.
Okay, we watched one, and I apologize, I didn't have that on my list, but it may have been that one. I don't know if it was 2.0. But
now, this one
really
takes
violent
place.
Kills?
It takes place after Part 6.
It may have been.
And it talks about Elias Voorhees.
Yeah. I think that's the one we watched. Me and Tony and Jordan watched. So my fault for not putting that on there, but that did have some cool, really cool kills in it, and especially for a fan-made movie. So my number 20 would be Midsommar. I liked the first 20 to 30 minutes of Midsommar, and then it starts getting really weird. I do want to give it a second watch. You want to hit me with that?
No,
okay.
I don't.
That's, but I thought there was parts of it that was really cool, but then it got really just out there, really, really out there. But we'll put it at number 20. It's Midsommar.
My number 20, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Went to the theater to watch it with a good friend of mine, Jacob Kilburn. It's kind of Goosebumps type. Yeah. I got Goosebumps vibes from it. Yeah. It wasn't terrible, and it wasn't, Academy Award winning either. It was just kind of, it's what it is. It's a Goosebumps episode that you take your kids to. The grown people out there probably don't want to go see Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. All right, what you got, Chef?
So that's another one I've got it on 4K. I haven't watched it yet. That, and there's another one I think that'll be on your list that I haven't watched yet, but they will get watched by the end of the year. Number 19 for me was Escape Room. Me and Ivy went and saw that in the theater. Ivy, I think, likes it a lot better than I did. I thought it was all right, man. It's just I kind of put it in that same category as like Truth or Dare and all that. I think it's okay, but nothing, I didn't really love it or anything, so.
I'll talk about it a little bit later in this video, guys, and we disagree on this one. Anyway, number 19, I'm Just Effing With You. Hulu original, kind of like the premise, kind of like the isolation, and they're at a motel, and some shenanigans go on at the motel. I actually recommend this to you guys. Go check it out. This is where the list starts to get, a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I'm Just Effing With You on Hulu.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll talk about that as well. My number 18 is a movie called The Pledge. This is a movie that came out, I believe it's a Scream Factory collabed with another company on it. And it's basically about these college kids that are trying to get in a frat, and the guys are, hazing them, and it gets really messed up. Nothing outstanding, but I did think it was pretty cool at parts. So that's my number 18, The Pledge.
So many of your movies I haven't watched yet. So it's kind of interesting to see how many I haven't seen.
You may like that one though. You may like Pledge.
18 for me, Pet Sematary. Went to the theater with my friend Paul, and we watched Pet Sematary. Now, I've never been a Stephen King guy. Really, I don't read fiction, and his movies have always been kind of TV movies. It's like watching a horror movie for the Lifetime channel or the Hallmark Network. It's never been my cup of tea. But Pet Sematary was okay. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the original, and not a huge fan of this one. But it was okay, and it was good for what it was. So
Yeah, that's another one I'm waiting for Black Friday to hit to grab that when it's really cheap, because I do want to see that for the list for at the end of the year. But I like the original one pretty good, but I've heard kind of mixed things about that one. But my number 17 was a movie called Ready or Not. I enjoyed this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. It kind of gets towards the end, maybe the last 20, 30 minutes, it trails off a little bit. That's why it wasn't higher, but I still had a lot of fun with this one. We went and saw this one, right?
We did go together and watch this.
Yeah, we probably will agree in the fact that trailers are showing too much, I think. Like this trailer showed like 4 or 5 kills in the movie, in the 2-minute trailer, which I wish they would get away from. But the movie itself, I'll be picking it up. It's only getting a Blu-ray, unfortunately, but I'll be picking it up when it comes out. I had fun with it. That was my number 17.
I don't buy Blu-rays, but if I did, I'd buy this one, guys.
But you bought the DVD of Clown Motel.
And quickly discarded it. I think I asked George, would you sell this for me on eBay? He looked at me like, I think Jordan ended up with it. Somebody ended up with it. I don't know. My number 17, guys, Countdown. Went to the theater and watched it with my daughter. I dug it for what it was. It gets a lot of hate. A lot of people talk bad about Countdown, but each his own. What's the word? Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
There's several things like that. We liked it. It's not going to win any awards, but I had no problem with Countdown. Number 17 on my list.
All right, so my number 16 actually is from 2018. I had it on my list because we bought it this year. I just assumed it came out this year. It's called Fear Footage. It's a found footage horror movie that me, Tony, and Jordan liked, and nobody else did, including him. So I thought it was creepy as heck. I mean, it has no budget. It was it's an independent film. I had a lot of fun with it. It scared the shit out of me. Poop out of me. I've watched it twice. But me and Tony and Jordan are the only 3 people in America that liked it, and Paul, I think maybe.
Wasn't a fan of Fear Footage. I root for small movies to do well and stuff, and I just can't lie to the people, though. I didn't.
No, I got it. Yeah.
Number 16, In the Tall Grass, Netflix original. It's another one of these where I really liked the first half, and then it started going in a direction. I haven't read the Stephen King novel or anything, but the first half I consider a lot better than the second half. So 16, In the Tall Grass.
All right, number 15 for me is a movie with tons of holes in it plot-wise, but it's a shark movie, and I love shark movies. 47 Meters Down Uncaged. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I saw it by myself in the theater. It's got a lot of plot holes. I did a review for it on my channel, but even those plot holes aside, just for how much I enjoyed it, I thought it was fun, man. I bought it on Blu-ray when it came out. I haven't rewatched it yet, but knowing that it's a bad movie, I still had a lot of fun with it. So that's my number 15.
Another movie I haven't got a chance to watch yet, and I like creature feature type movies.
Yeah, well, you liked the first one, 47 Meters Down, didn't you?
Well, anything with Mandy Moore in it, that's kind of my baby. Candy. Anyway, I didn't get a chance to watch it, and I like creature features, so I'm definitely going to check that out at some point. My number 15, Dr. Sleep. Went to the movie theater and watched it. I didn't like it as well as part one, obviously, but I went to the movies and watched it the day after I watched part one. I rewatched part one just to get me familiarized with it because, again, I'm not really a Stephen King guy. Really liked part one. Very, very scary movie. The next day went to see Dr. Sleep, and this was a reverse of kind of what we were going through here previously. I didn't like the first half as much on this one, and then really liked the second half. Once they got to the hotel, and you started seeing some of the same things, and I was liking a lot of the throwbacks they were doing. But yeah, my number 15, Dr. Sleep.
Well, cool. That's awesome. You got to get it in before. My number 14 is a Netflix movie called Fractured. This is a suspense thriller more than it is a horror, but that's still considered horror-ish to us. I thought this movie was really good. It's dealing a lot with like CTE, more or less. Basically, something happens. A guy has a head injury, and the entire rest of the movie, you're not sure if what he's telling is what's going on or if it's all in his head. But I thought it was really done well, man, for a Netflix original. Again, it's not really horror, but it's got a couple of horror-ish themes to it because it's suspense. So that's number 14.
Never even heard about that one, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take your list home with me if you don't mind.
Yeah.
My number 14, Down, Hulu original.
Oh yeah.
The whole movie takes place in an elevator. I've seen several of the movies like this. Elevator took place all in the elevator. Devil took place all in the elevator. I like all of them. I mean, I think there's another one that takes place all in the elevator. Can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but
you said Devil, right?
Yeah.
Yep. M9. Yeah, that's a good one.
So I like them all, and this is just another one I really like it. I like those confined type horror movies where you're kind of trapped and you just got to deal with it. I put myself in this scenario. If I was in that scenario, I would do a lot of the same things that brother did in that elevator.
That lady was very
giggity. I think giggity is what you like to say. But my number 14, Down.
All right, my number 13 is another Netflix original. He spoke on it earlier, and that's Rattlesnake. I thought this movie was done really well, man. I do see some of the things that he didn't like about it. I see why people didn't like it. It's another one of those, after it's over, you kind of got to go watch a couple of explained videos just to kind of see where your thoughts lie with a lot of other people's as far as the meaning behind it and symbolism and stuff like that. But I thought it was done really well, man, and I liked it, man. For a Netflix original, it was. I feel like Netflix originals this year there hadn't been as many great ones as last year, but I still enjoyed this one.
My number 13, School Spirit, Hulu original. I really liked it. This is exactly what I like in a movie. I like isolation horror movies. And if you don't know anything about this, if you haven't heard it, picture Breakfast Club, right? In a horror movie. I mean, this is what
watch that one. Is that one of those In the Dark?
Yes.
Okay.
They have a Saturday detention, and the kids have to go to Saturday detention in the library, like on Breakfast Club, and then things start to happen. And I dug it. It's my number 13,
yeah,
and it's
add that to my list.
There you go, brother.
All right, so my number 12 is I'm just effing with you. The one he talked about, Hulu original. This movie, to me, this is the best of my favorite of those Hulu originals. I want to say I've seen 6 or 7, I think, from this list. I thought this was done very, very well, man. And it's kind of got that, it's not the same theme as Joyride, but it kind of gives you that same, it's horror-ish for sure, but I love the way that whoever wrote the script, I thought they did a great job. I thought it was done really good, man. And like I said, it's my number 12.
Number 12 for me, Greta. Typically, going into this, I wasn't expecting a whole lot, to be honest, just from what I kind of had seen from the movie. But I really enjoyed this movie. And the lead actress, I can't think of her name right now. She's very well known. She did a great job, the elderly lady. And then also the young girl that's kind of the star or the final girl, I guess, in a slasher movie you would call her. Really liked Greta and highly recommend it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's another one I got to say, too. I think Jordan just watched that one, too. Number 11 for me is one that we watched in Atlanta when we saw it on Netflix. And it just showed up on Netflix like that in January of 19. I think technically it's like 2018.
Yeah.
But it showed up on Netflix in the States in 2019, so I put it on there for this. And that's He's Out There. I really liked it, man. It's like a isolated horror movie. It's a woman and her family and her kids out in the woods and waiting on her husband to get there. He's taking forever, and some stuff starts going down. They start getting stalked, and I had fun with it, man. Again, it came out on Netflix in January of this year, so I had it on this list, but I think it actually was released in October of 2018.
Technically, it's a 2018 movie, but anytime I think about that movie, I have good feelings because it was just me, Jordan, Tony, Melissa. We were in this mansion, and it was just good times.
I was there too.
I didn't say Chad.
No, you didn't say me. That's fine.
Well,
that's fine.
Yeah, Chad was there. He was sitting on the couch next to me as we watched this. But
the movie after that, I
fell asleep.
You fell asleep. We were watching Would You Rather.
Yeah, that was just a good trip. And anytime I think about He's Out There, I think about that trip. And it was, I had a blast. It was like being a kid again. My number 11, 3 from Hell. Watched it on 4K. really enjoyed it. A lot of people have mixed feelings about 3 from Hell. I really enjoyed it. It's really the first movie I started to like Otis. I really didn't like Otis in House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Really started to like him in this one. I liked Baby the most in this one. This was the first movie she started being vulnerable, and I wanted to protect her and take care of her and keep her safe. And that may show the type of women I'm attracted to, unfortunately. Crazy women that need protecting. Anyway, there's a lot of stories that could go off that. But Captain Spaulding wasn't in this,
No, not at
except
all.
for a small little clip. So that kind of, because I'm a huge Captain Spaulding fan. He's my second favorite horror movie villain out of all of them. Only second place to Leatherface. But yeah, my number 11 was 3 from Hell.
All right.
The top 10, guys.
Top 10. Okay, top 10 for me. My number 10, Godzilla King of Monsters. Really sci-fi action, but it's still horror themed. I love Godzilla movies. I like this one a lot better than the 2014 one. People complained about the 2014 one because there wasn't enough Godzilla. Well, now they show Godzilla and all kinds of other monsters, and people are like, well, there's not enough character development. I'm like, well, which one do you want? Do you want Godzilla or do you want the character? And you got plenty of Godzilla in this. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I had fun with it, man. Number 10.
I went to go see that with some friends of mine, Stump Diddy of Eye for an Eye and Chad Ritchie. And my daughter also went. And I didn't put this on my list because I didn't consider it a horror-ish type movie. I guess I can see why Chad put it on his list. I didn't enjoy it at all. I don't get into watching video game things fight each other. Anyway, everything was a video game on that. All right, my number 10, guys. The Perfection, Netflix original. Loved this movie. Thought it was going one way, said, oh, I see this coming, and then it hit a left on me. And then it hit another left on me. And then it hit another left on me. Before I knew it, I was back where I started. But yeah, this thing was really good. The Perfection, Netflix original.
I'm writing that down so I keep forgetting to watch that one.
It's
So
good,
I'm writing
man.
that one down.
It's good.
All right, where we at? Number 9?
9.
My number 9 was the Child's Play remake. I didn't really care for this much at all in the theater, and then I rewatched it, and I liked it better than I did when I watched it in theater. I don't like it as much as the original. The kills were cool. I liked how it was shot. I'm not really a big fan of the way they had Chucky looking. I get the whole smart home Chucky because they're updating it with the times. I get that. Aubrey Plaza, who's one of my favorite celebrity chicks, I thought she was just kind of whatever. However, on this list of horror movies, it's in the top 10, so I still had a good time with it for the most part. But yeah, Child's Play remake.
Right, I watched that one. I enjoyed it. I'll talk about it here in a little bit. My number 9, guys, Ma. Went to the theater to watch it. Liked Ma. Now, I always, in every movie I watch, horror movie, I put myself in the movie. Like, that's how I like to watch horror movies. I put myself in there and how Ivy's going to get out of this movie. And 100% I would have got out of this one. I would have stiff-armed this lady and Goldberg speared her right out of this movie screen. And it would have been about a 2-minute movie. But I wasn't in it. These kids were a bunch of like Harry Potter-looking kids in this, Where's Waldo-looking kids. So she could get them. But it was entertaining to watch.
Harry Potter kids. That's weird. That's a great.
All the kids in this look like they could probably read the Harry Potter novels and have enjoyed themselves. But my number 9, Ma.
Honestly, speaking of Ma, it's my number 8. I had fun. I had fun with Ma. Like, I just watched it last Sunday actually, and I went through and watched a bunch of movies from 2019. It gave me a vibe of like Misery. She kind of reminded,
right.
It's kind of got that vibe. Octavia Spencer, I think that's who Mom was. She did a great job as playing a crazy person. And it starts getting really messed up at the end. Like, it's kind of a slow burn. And you also had Juliette Lewis in it. An older Juliette Lewis was from Christmas Vacation. And
Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers, yeah.
Yeah, you would go Christmas Vacation.
Well, I like Natural Born Killers too. But I thought Ma was good, man. It's really creepy because that could happen. There could be if a lady could get somebody could get kids to want to come party at their house, But
hey, when I was a kid, I'd have been down.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to do me like that, but I would have got rid of Ma. Ma wouldn't have lasted very long when I was 19 years old trying to party, or 18, whatever them kids were. My number 8, Us. Went to the movie theater and watched it. Can't remember exactly who I went with. You didn't go on that one.
No, I had work. Chance went.
Chance went with me to watch Us. Okay. Yeah. All right, Chance, did you go with me? Chance went with me. So it's.
You didn't believe me?
I'm sorry I forgot, Chance. I'm sorry I forgot. I remember when I watched it, I thought it was okay. It was, but now looking back on it, it ranked very high compared to some of the other movies I watched in 2019.
Yeah.
I don't feel like 2019 was maybe as strong of a
Not
year
even close as last year.
2018. Yeah.
Because just me personally, Child's Play wouldn't have been in the top 25 last year.
Right.
For me, but this year it's just like you said to me.
Yeah.
This year is weaker than last year. And that happens, man. Every year it's.
So my number 8, Us.
All right. So my number 7 is one I just watched last week. It is a Blumhouse movie, but it is not your normal PG-13 Blumhouse film. It's called Bloodline. Okay. It's starring Sean William Scott from Stifler from American Pie. And you think, how can this movie's crazy, bro? Basically, he is a counselor at a school, and he talks with students, and the students confide in him and tell him about their home life, and he goes and basically handles situations without the kids knowing about, dealing with abuse and stuff like that. I thought it was done really well. Sean William Scott did a great job in this movie because it's so hard for me to watch him in anything and not think of Stifler or his character from Road Trip. But I thought he did a great job. This movie was super violent. It was not your normal PG-13 Blumhouse, but I thought it was awesome, man. Bloodline, number 7.
My number 7, Silence. The Silence Netflix original. I really, really like this movie. I didn't like it as much as Bird Box last year. It's kind of a lesser version of Bird Box, but good nonetheless. Last year it wouldn't have ranked as high, kind of like what you were just saying, but this year it ranks number 7 of 2019, The Silence.
My number 6 favorite horror-ish movie of 2019 is Haunt. I rented it on YouTube and watched it and thought it was awesome. Basically, it reminded me of Hellfest from last year, but better, more violent. I thought it was a better movie than Hellfest. I thought, as much as I like Hellfest, I thought Haunt was creepy as hell. Had some good, it was shot well, had some good kills in it. I thought it was really good, man. Haunt's my number 6 this year.
I absolutely loved Hellfest last year, and I absolutely love Haunt this year, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. My number 6, Ready or Not. Went to the movie theater and watched it. I liked the beginning, and I liked the end, and I liked the middle, and I liked all the parts, to be honest. Really enjoyed Ready or Not. A lot of people have a trouble with the ending, and I thought the ending made it even better.
No, I liked it.
I got pumped when I was saying, whoa, they went there with it?
Yeah.
And it was just, I really liked Ready or Not, my number 6.
Yeah. So now we're into the top 5. My number 5 favorite horror-ish movie this year, Zombieland Double Tap. I know he didn't care for it as much. I had so much fun with it. Woody Harrelson's one of the GOATs to me, as far as just actors in general, but I had a lot of fun with it, man. I'm not the biggest fan of Jesse Eisenberg, but I like him in these. I thought it did what the first one did for me. It's not as good as the first one, but I loved it, man. I look forward to checking it out again when it comes out on 4K. I had fun with it, man. It's a comedy, obviously. It's a zombie comedy, but it's still horror-ish. Number 5, Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay. My number 5, Brightburn. Went to the movie theater to watch it. Guys, I don't go see comic book movies. I've never seen Iron Man's or Captain America's or Spider-Man's or Pokemon's or any of those. I don't watch that stuff. But when this trailer came out, at first I thought, okay, here goes another one. Here it is, AntMan Part 8. But I think you talked me into going to see it.
I did.
And I liked it. I really liked this movie. Brightburn, number 5, and I was really shocked.
Yeah,
Loved
for
it.
sure. My number 4 favorite horror movie of 2019, horror-ish movie, Crawl. Loved Crawl. We were so excited for Crawl. I think Crawl was what Meg should have been. Last year, the big movie, like creature feature, was Meg, and I liked Meg, but I think they should have went with Meg like they did with Crawl. They went mainstream with Meg and made it PG-13 and cut out a lot of the kills in it. But Crawl, I thought, was a lot of fun, man. It was just creature features I'm a fan of anyway, but I thought it was done so well. And the guy that directed this, same guy that did Hills Have Eyes remake, which I think is awesome. I was invested in the characters, the daughter and the father. The whole time I was on the edge of my seat, which is hard to do because they recline, but I was on the edge of my seat watching this movie. I loved it, man. My number 4, Crawl.
Loved Crawl. Talk about it in a little bit. Number 4 for me, Child's Play. Went to the movie theater, and we actually did a vlog on this channel of me, Chad, and Paul, Chance going to the movie theater and watching Child's Play. I was never a Child's Play fan, the franchise in general. Part 1 was my favorite, and I remember after watching this, I said I like this better than Part 1 initially in that vlog. Now that I have a little bit of time to let it marinate, I would probably put Part 1 a little bit above this, but this is number 2. I really like this movie. I'm a slasher. I don't know if I'm a horror fan or a slasher fan.
I think you're a slasher fan.
To be honest, I just love slashers.
Yeah.
This was really well done. The thing I didn't like the most was actually Chucky. But it didn't bother me as much as it bothers some people.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend the Child Play remake, Child's Play 2819.
Yeah, and I'm like you. Like I said, I didn't care a lot for the way they did Chucky, but I'm like you in the sense of we're not huge Child's Play fans to begin with. And when I started looking at this franchise as a whole, people are saying that Child's Play remake is ridiculous. But look what you're comparing it to. In the other Child's Play movies, he gets married, he bangs and has a kid. Like, what's more ridiculous here? You know what I'm saying?
And the original, the one that they always go to.
It's ridiculous anyway.
It was a voodoo, a serial killer gets a voodoo spell put onto a doll and his soul goes into the doll. That's where we're starting at. So just stop with a smartphone or anyway.
When you really break it down, it's like, what? It's just, you got to go in knowing that. So my number 3 favorite horror movie of 2019 is Us. I am late to the party on Us. I just watched it like a month and a half, 2 months ago. I am one of the people that thought Get Out was good. I thought Get Out was overrated. I thought that while I liked Get Out, I felt like it got, I don't know, man. I just didn't like it as much as everybody else did. This movie, though, I thought was much better. I liked it better than Get Out. The score in it was awesome. I love the 5 on It remix that Jordan Peele had him do. I loved the score of it. I thought the whole movie, I liked the idea of it. They creeped the hell out of me. It had some good humor in it. I thought it was done really good, man. I loved it, man. Us, number 3.
I liked Us. I didn't like it as much as Get Out, but I did like it, and it was high on my list. My number 3 movie of 2019, guys, Crawl. Went to the movie theater and watched it. Loved it. Was ever since the trailer, I've seen the trailer for this, and I think the trailer came out maybe on, I can't remember what, but I've seen the trailer many times at the theater and was just really anticipating this movie coming out. Watched it and then was at a friend's house and he hadn't seen it, and so I recommended it, and so we I think we rented it from a Redbox or something and watched it, and my friend Sam. And Sam's the type, he likes to talk while he watches the movie. And well, you know, he likes to tell you what he would do, you know, and well, I'd kick the bricks out and be out of there in 2 minutes. You know, kick the bricks out from underneath the house, and okay, all right. Well, I guess we could do that. But I really enjoyed this movie. I love creature features, and
yeah, man.
I too don't believe I would have been down in that basement very long. I think if me and you were in that basement, 1, I don't know if we'd fit, but 2, I think we would come up with something where we wasn't going to be trapped down there.
I would be so scared that I'd have.
Well, once we found out the crocodile couldn't pass the piping. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to give it away. I highly recommend it. Crawl.
I would solely rely on Ivy's strength and like cognitive skills at that point, because I would be a wreck. I wouldn't be able to.
We'd be out of there.
Yeah, we'd be out of there. My number 2 favorite horror movie of 2019, and I'm probably the only person. Me and my buddy Skeggs. Everybody else hated this movie, and I don't know why. It Chapter 2 is my number 2 favorite horror movie this year. You didn't get to see it.
I have not got to see it.
What'd you think of the first one? You like the first one?
I like the first one.
Or the remake. Man, I just don't see what the hate for It Chapter 2 is. People are complaining there's too much comedy. The first one was the same way. People are complaining about it wasn't scary. I thought it was scary as hell. Like, multiple scenes in it were scary to me. People complained about the CGI. There's CGI in the first remake. So I don't really know what the hate for It Chapter 2 is. Is it long? Yeah, it could have had about 15, 20 minutes shaved off of it. It was longer. But I loved it, man. I look forward to purchasing it on 4K when it comes out in December. And I thought it was awesome, man. I liked it a lot. Number 2.
I'm looking forward to watching it. Just I got busy, life got in the way, and I wasn't able to check it out at the theater.
I'll save you one of them still books.
When it came out. All right. My number 2, Escape Room. Movie came out in January. Went to it. I want to say I went to the movie theater, I think 5 times to watch this.
Oh my God.
With 5 different groups of friends. I enjoyed it so much. I love this movie.
5 times?
I love this movie. I love escape rooms.
That's got to be why you love it.
I just put myself in the scenario, and I suck at escape rooms. I believe me and Jacob Kilburn we started out 0-5 in escape rooms.
Did he go with you to see it?
I can't remember if Jacob. I can't remember, but I'm sure of all these trips he may have been with me. But
shout out to Jacob.
Jacob, professional fighter Jacob Kilburn. So I went 0-5 going to escape rooms with Jacob, and then I switched my team up. Jacob got married and started hanging out with an attractive woman, and obviously he was hanging out with her. He got married to her. But then I started having to go to escape rooms with somebody else, and Paul and Tabitha, and then I started getting out.
Imagine how we would do if I went with you.
Mental puzzles are not my strong suit, evidently.
I mean, anything puzzle is not I can't even do a crossword puzzle.
Well, I mean, yeah. I think that should be one of these videos, me and you go into an escape room. But I love this movie. I really did, and I can't recommend it enough. And the fact that he doesn't like it, what I was saying at the beginning of the video, guys, his taste, I don't know what's happening in his life to make his taste in horror movies go down, but something's happening.
It's in my top 20.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's 19.
I was thinking it was lower on the list.
No,
if I paid any attention to your list, Chad, I would have known that. But I'm sorry, man. That was a slight.
Look, here's what I'll do. I'll buy it and watch it again on Blu-ray because I only watched it the one time. I'll give it another shot, and maybe I'll like it better. But it'll be cheap next week on Black Friday. And
I venture to say you're gonna love it.
Okay, well we'll see.
Let's go to an escape room. Can we agree on that?
Okay, do I have to be in a tight space or up high?
Well, every escape room's different. Probably not up high. A tight space, I don't know. I can't promise. But I can promise I can get you out of anything we can get into.
You said you suck at escape rooms.
Well, I mean, it ain't because I'm not trapped. I mean, if I wanted to get out of the room, I could get out.
Well,
I don't want to
I
break their stuff.
I got you.
All right, number 1.
My number 1 favorite horror-ish movie of this year, he's talked about it already. I love this movie. I've watched it twice on 4K since I bought it. I watched it in the theater with him. Brightburn is my favorite movie of this year that's horror-based. I thought it was so good, man. And I like comic book movies. I know he doesn't. I don't love them. I like them. The fact that they made this movie the way they did, this is not a comic book movie. If you're having reservations about seeing this, this is a horror movie. This is the story of Superman if he was evil. That's basically what this story is. So people are thinking, if you're not a comic book fan, then you're like, whoa, I'm telling you. He has it in his top, what did you have it at?
5th.
Yeah, he has it 5th, and he hates comic book movies. So that just tells you how much of a comic movie it's not. I thought the kills in it were great. It was shot great. You're so involved, like, emotionally with the kid and his mom and dad. It's just such a great movie, man. And it's got some kills in it that I would say are like legit kills scenes. You know what I mean?
The glass in the eye, that was a good one.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's my favorite movie of this year, man, horror-wise.
All right, my number 1 movie of 2019, guys, Haunt. Absolutely love this movie. I believe I watched it on demand, I think, because it only got a DVD release.
Yeah.
And it's just, wow. I can't believe they made that decision. But I love this movie, guys. It's everything I want in a horror movie. It reminded me a lot, kind of Terrifier from last year, and also Hellfest. If you mixed Hellfest with Terrifier, they're illegitimate. Is that a word? I didn't graduate.
That sounds good. Make it up. Say it.
Okay. They're offspring, right?
Yeah. Illegitimate offspring. There we
go. All right. Terrifier and Hellfest creates Haunt. Really liked it, man. Can't recommend it enough. I've recommended it to several people. And even my good friend Chance Richardson, I said, if you want to watch a movie, watch this one. And come to find out, he watched it and he said he really enjoyed it. And if Chance Richardson enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it, and he enjoyed it, what are you thinking by not watching it? Go watch the movie. You'll enjoy it. And I love talking like this. I feel like I'm reading a child's story at night. Anyway, this is not how you would read a child's story at nighttime. Guys, that is our rankings of 2019 horror-ish movies. Listen, if you support me, right, support my friends. Chad Arms is a good friend of mine. Chatty Bobby 1130, Triple Flicks Mafia. I think he's got a reaction channel he started. Go subscribe to this guy's channels. It's good entertainment. It's well worth the subscription. If you ain't subscribed to this channel, stop. You need to really get your life together, boy or girl, right? Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. If you think you love me and I'm super attractive and funny and got a good personality, say it in the comments, right? And if you don't, I'm going to delete it anyway. Anyway, just
say it in the comments.
Say it in the comments, man.
We're going to delete it.
Peace.
Peace.